Come back again to our channel Coders Arcade. So this will be the second live session in YouTube about Java. We will be covering, as I promised, from beginner level to advanced level. Okay, so let's just do a small recap about what we have already done in the previous class. And if you have not gone through that recording, you can just go through the recording. It is there in our YouTube channel. And today we will be starting up with a different concept, but before that let me just give you a small recap about what we actually did in the last week. Okay, so we talked about the Java programming language. Okay, but before that what we did was we did some introduction, right? If you remember, we did some introduction to programming. Okay, we saw the history of programming, then we saw how C, then C++, then Python, then Java, they actually came into existence. I just showed you the roadmap, right? If you remember them, I told you the years also and how actually this programming languages arised and how they were actually developed and brought into picture by the particular developers. So just for example, C was brought by Dennis Ritchie and then C++ by Jan Stoustrup. Then we had Guido van Rossum who developed Python. Then we had James Gosling, and our focus will be completely on Java now. And I want to tell you a little bit of recap that we had done in the previous YouTube live session, right? In the last Saturday that I am talking about. Okay, there we talked about a very important concept called VORA, write once, run anywhere. If you don't remember that, let me just give you a small recap. It was write once, run anywhere, correct? That is why actually Java is called platform independent. I had already given you a detailed idea about why this is actually all about. Okay, I had already given you a brief detail about this. Guys, if you have not gone through this video, the live recording recorded has been again uploaded to a YouTube channel only. Just go there and have a look at it so that you will get a better understanding about the concepts. Okay, then now we will go with some later concepts. So let me just drag it a little bit up. Okay, and let us see some other concepts. As I said, we have talked about the VORA concept, and then we talked about the very important concept in Java, that is how the JDK is installed first. Then we actually set the path, which is our runtime environment. These two, when we combine together, we actually get our Java virtual machine, the JVM, correct? Guys, all these things I have already explained in my previous video, the live session. It is already there. Please go there and see. And here I told you two very important things. Why is Java both compiled? I have already told you that. And why is Java interpreted as well? Correct? This I have already told you. So the first step, as I told you, it is compiled because of the Java C compiler. And then in our JVM we have the just-in-time compiler, JIT. Because of this, our Java programming language is both interpreted as well as compiled. This is a very important interview question, guys. Please go through this, and if you have any doubts, you can also get back to us in the comment section. I will be definitely happy to clarify all your doubts. Okay, so it's a must and should interview question. You should go through it. Please go through it. Okay, and this is what I was talking about, the Java C compiler, and also here you can see this one, the JIT compiler, the both of this. This is the Java C, this is the JIT, which makes Java both compiled and interpreted. Okay, so this concept is very important because when you are going for any technical interviews, this question will be asked to you. Okay, so you have to make sure you remember this. And after that, we also talked about some other things, the anatomy of the Java program. I told you, right? The anatomy. Here I said everything in Java is written inside a class. Okay, everything in Java is written inside a class because we say Java is an object-oriented language, object-oriented programming language. Okay, we will talk about all these things in detail. Don't have to worry about it for the time being. Just remember that Java is an object-oriented language. Okay, and as we were discussing about the anatomy, here I said everything in Java is wrapped inside a class. Okay. So classes like, just like a normal example, you can say that we have students enclosed inside a class, right? All the students will be sitting inside a classroom. Similarly, in Java, all the code that we write is written inside a class actually. Okay, and inside the class, the main entry is actually the main function. Okay, I have already told about all these things, still I am telling you this. And inside the main function, we will write our statements, whatever we want to execute, all those statements will be written inside the main function. Okay, and let me just give you a brief about this, and we can just do one thing, we can go back to our editor and try to understand this. Okay, so what I will do, I will go back to my editor here, and here let me just create a new file. Say I will say first program. Here if you just observe, I have written a class called publish class first program, right? Inside that I will just say main. See, this is the IDE, the IDE name is, let me give you the name here. Okay guys, you can use lots of IDEs. IDE is actually nothing. Okay, it is just the editor where we write our programs. Okay, IDE, the full form is integrated development environment. Okay, this is the full form of IDE and it is nothing. Okay, आप लोग इसके बारे में एकदम चिंता मत करो. What I am saying is, इसका मैं हिंदी में आपको एक आइडिया देता हूँ. क्या है, हम लोग घर में बोलते हैं तो रोटी बोलते हैं ना, एक खाने का सामान को, we just call it रोटी, right? नॉर्मली क्या होता है, इसको हम लोग होटल में जाके अगर हाई फाई लैंग्वेज में बोलेंगे तो क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग इसको, वी से दैट इट इज व्हाट, ब्रेड. बट टेक्निकली हम लोग रोटी ही खा रहे हैं. दैट इज व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, राइट? सो सेम थिंग इज, दिस आईडी इज जस्ट ए फैंसी नेम टू रिप्रेजेंट योर एडिटर. ओके गाइज, आप लोगों को अगर हिंदी में पढ़ाई करनी है कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आप हमको बोल दो कमेंट्स में, हम हिंदी में यही वाला वीडियो लेके आएंगे दोबारा से. लेकिन वी नीड योर मोटिवेशन, वी नीड योर सपोर्ट. दैट इज़ व्हाट विल एक्चुअली मोटिवेट अस टू ब्रिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ कंटेंट मोर एंड मोर टू यू. ओके, एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्लीज सब्सक्राइब टू अवर चैनल गाइज. दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वी आर डूइंग ए लॉट टू ब्रिंग लॉट्स ऑफ गुड कंटेंट टू यू. तो इसीलिए आप लोग का सपोर्ट हम लोग को बहुत ज़रूरी है. ओके, सो गाइज, एज आई सेड, ये हमारा क्या है, let me just do one thing, undo करता हूँ मैं इसको, control Z. Okay, as I said, this is our editor. Okay, ये editor है. The same thing, इसको हम लोग integrated development environment बोलते हैं. Okay, we call this as integrated development. It is just a simple fancy name, just like this. Roti is called bread, right? Similarly, we call it as integrated development environment, where we actually write our codes. Okay, here what I want to say is, there are many types of editors that we will be using. So for example, we have the best IDE that I prefer for writing Java code is IntelliJ IDEA. Similarly, you have one more that is called VS Code, and there is one more, we call it as Eclipse. इन तीनों में से यू कैन यूज़ एनी वन यू वांट. इसमें कोई बेझिझक बोल रहा हूँ मैं, यू विल बी फाइंडिंग एवरी वन वेरी ईजी टू अंडरस्टैंड, बट दिस इज़ अ लिटिल बिट ट्रिकी टू यूज़. सो आई डोंट प्रिफर इट फॉर राइटिंग एनी प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज. इफ यू आर लर्निंग डेवलपमेंट, then it is a very good thing, but for writing codes you can either go for IntelliJ IDEA or Eclipse, because these two are dedicated for Java. That's why I am stressing more and more, if you are learning Java, please go with IntelliJ, because you will get auto suggestions and you are going to love it actually. इसमें बहुत सारे auto suggestions हैं जो आपको दूसरी जगह नहीं मिलेंगे. Similarly, Eclipse also is a very good one and it is very easy to use also. So I prefer either IntelliJ or Eclipse. If you want to go with VS Code, ठीक है, it's okay, you can use that also. Okay, So this is it about the editors, and right now I am using this one only. Okay, so let's switch here, and as I was telling, here as I write MAI, you can see I am getting a suggestion, right? I am getting an easy suggestion like this. So here you can see it says inside the class, inside our main function, you can see public static void main. Guys, right now you don't have to worry about what is public, what is static, what is void, what is main. Just think that it is the entry point of our code. Okay, here suppose I want to print something, I can write s out, that means system.out.println. I will tell everything about all of this, don't have to worry. System is a class, out is a method, and similarly println is a method. Okay, system is a class, out of in that class out is an object of that class. ये सब terms आपको नया लग रहा होगा, you will be finding all these things very tricky to understand right now, but gradually when you go deep into it, तब आपको ज़्यादा समझ में आएगा इसके बारे में. Okay, you will gradually learn more and more about this, so don't have to worry, just try to concentrate on what I am saying and be chill. Okay, you just try to take it as a demo session and you just try to understand whatever I am saying. Try to relate it to the real technical terms, that's all. You don't have to memorize everything, just try to go with the flow. If you have any doubts, we have the comment section, you can ping your doubts there. Okay, I will be very happy to clarify all of them. And as I said, system is a class, out is an object, and println is a method or function which is called to print something. Simple. So here I am just trying to print my company name. Okay, now if you see, if I run this, you can see here, one second, see we got this Coders Arcade printed on our terminal or our console. This part of the window, guys, this is called the terminal or the console, where we actually get our output. Okay, this can be done, I have already showed you how to do it through the command line also. Okay, so now as I said, all our Java code is wrapped inside a class. Okay, and in the main function we write all our statements. And now let's come back to how do you write this names. There are certain naming conventions that we need to follow. Okay, so let me get back and try to tell you about all those things. These are very important concepts, and I will tell you one more thing, guys. I'm giving you a very important tip when you are learning anything. It can be anything. Okay, so just remember this thing, it will be very important for you. You might be laughing about this, but I really believe in this. Okay, this is the rule. It is whenever you are learning any programming language, whatever it is, say right now we are learning Java, don't just try to go here and there and learn something. Try to go with the basics, clear all the basics, clear all the concepts, then go on with the advanced concepts. I am saying you grassroots level, or you can say the base level of anything is very important. If your grassroots or your base is very clear, then you can learn anything in life, whatever it is. Okay, so that is very, very important. Just focus on the basic level, try to get through with every detailed concept in detail, and then I bet that you will learn anything very easily. That's what my target is actually. So I will be going on from everything in scratch. Okay, so if you want anything in more detail, you can just let me know about it. I will be very happy to bring that in a different video. Don't worry about that. Okay, and now as I said, I was talking about the naming conventions, right? So let's just move on to that and just try to finish it off. And I have already given a recap of that, so let me just tell you once again. You have two types of naming conventions. The first one is the camel naming convention, and the second one is the Pascal naming convention. Okay, camel in the sense, I will just say like this, say suppose rate of interest. Similarly, when I write the Pascal, you can see the difference. Rate of interest. Okay. Now I hope by when I have written this you have already understood the difference, right? But still let me just highlight it for you. Observe this. The first letter of the first word is small letter in camel case. Similarly, in the Pascal case, the first letter of each word is caps. Okay, and to tell you, camel case is used for functions, variables, etc. And Pascal case, it is used for classes, and there is one more term in Java that is called interfaces. Sometimes it is also used for constants. It depends. These are just naming conventions, guys. What is the difference between a convention and a rule? It is a convention that is not mandatory to follow. You can, or if I say you may or you may not, it is totally up to you. But rules you need to follow. Those are the things that you have to be very careful about. Okay. So when I talk about convention, it is something that you may or may not follow. But when I talk about rule, you should and you have to follow that. Okay. Please remember that. Now, as I have already told you, let's go back to our editor and just see that. See, the classes are already in Pascal case, and if you see, the main function is actually written in camel case, correct? And if you see here, the println function also has been written in camel case only, right? So this much you have understood, right? Now let's do one thing, guys. If you have any doubts, you have the comment section. I'm again telling you, if you have any doubts, even a silly doubt, guys, a doubt is only silly till it is asked. You never know. Okay. तो अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपको इसमें भी कोई डाउट है, एनीथिंग, छोटा सा भी डाउट है, प्लीज़ आस्क, प्लीज़ फील फ्री टू आस्क, ठीक है? एंड नाउ देन, अगर आपको कोई डाउट नहीं है, इफ यू डोंट हैव, देन लेट अस मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट सेक्शन एंड वी विल बी लर्निंग अबाउट वेरिएबल्स. So, sorry, let me just do one thing. I said I will be talking about variables. Let's make it more interesting. Okay, so you are a kid and I'm not good in drawing, but I will try to draw. Say this is your mom and every day she prepares food for you, right? And you have to go to the maybe school or you have to go to the college. I will believe that you guys are engineering students and you will be obviously going to the college. Okay, so every day your mom will prepare some food for you if you are traveling from home, correct? At the time you will be getting a tiffin. So just answer me this thing. Does your mom prepare the same thing every day? Same and every day? Is it? Say, let us take some examples. Okay, I will just say first one is Monday and it is roti sabji. The second day, let me talk about Tuesday and say it is bread butter. Similarly, the third day, say it is Wednesday, so here it is sandwich. Number 4, say it is Thursday, it is upma, and it will go on, right? So every day you get something different. Maybe some other day you might get roti also. 2 days it can be roti sabji also. Okay, but most of the times it is different, right? And this tiffin box that we have, जो आपको मिलता है घर से, जिसमें आप खाना खाते हो, in that tiffin box, every day कुछ ना कुछ अलग ही जाता है. आप जो देख रहे हो, it is always something different, right? एक जैसा खाना तो कभी नहीं आता. So what is happening? वो बदल रहा है, it is varying. That means what? Similarly, what I am trying to say is, suppose I have a variable. आपने मैथ्स में वेरिएबल्स पढ़ा होगा, you have learnt about variables in mathematics. If I say x equal to 10, maybe when we are writing this line, sometime later x can become 20 also, x can become 30 also. ये चेंज होते रहेगा ना, this will keep changing. That's why the name is variable. A variable is actually nothing. It is a storage where we store data. ये एक data है, ठीक है. We store data and who gives this space? कौन देता है? Who gives this storage? This is, as I said, it is a memory, right? Memory storage. I am not the owner of the computer, right? The computer has many parts. So what I want to say is something like this. This is your PC. Don't mind my drawing, okay? I'm just trying to, and say this is your CPU. This is your cabinet actually, not the CPU. Okay. Here you will have the CPU. And guys, if you don't remember, maybe we don't remember. Some people might not remember. The CPU has three parts, right? The arithmetic and logic unit, the control unit, and the memory unit. Okay. The CPU's task is to give the storage, right? And in case of our programming, when we are learning Java, at that time we say that everything is done by our compiler. Okay. अभी compiler क्या है? You might be thinking, right? See, we give our instructions in the form of code, and your system, say your PC, it does not understand any language. As I told you earlier, programming is what? You are writing a code in, say, Java programming language, and it is actually, one sec. Okay, what is happening actually is, it is being see, your system, I'm sorry, your system does not understand this Java language. Okay, what does it actually understand? It understands 1 and 0 binary, right? So that is actually converted by an entity. That entity is called the compiler. So just remember, your high level language, your programming language, to low level language, that is 1 and 0 binary, and again back, because again we don't understand this binary 1 and 0, I don't understand. So that has to be done by someone. That translation is done by the compiler. Okay, and this compiler actually allocates all the memory and all the things that we have. Okay, so right now what we are talking about is about our variables, right? So if I say x is equal to 10, then if I say x equal to 20, say I say y equal to 30, these are variables, x, y, etc., etc., and then these are what? These are values, correct? So to be precise, I can simply say that a variable is a container to store data, correct? And this variable is given to us by the compiler. So variable you will create, x equal to 10 we are writing, but this variable, the memory is given by the compiler. Okay, just remember it like that, it will be very easy to understand them. Okay, now this thing is just a number, right? But there can be any kind of data, we don't know about it right now, correct? So as I said, a variable is a container, or you can also say that it is a memory location where we store data. And the data is what? Right now data can be anything, guys. First of all, you already have the concept of big data right now, correct? Yes. What is that actually? There are so many kinds of data right now in the industry. That's why as a whole the bulk data is known as big data. It can be anything. Right now, let me just give you a simple example. What kind of data do you deal with every day? Let me just show you. PDF, it can be XLS, it can be Excel SX, it can be doc, it can be docx, it can be XML, it can be image, it can be PNG, it can be JPEG, it can be JPG, sorry, this can be JPG, okay, and there are so many other stuffs. We have CSV, we have JSON, okay, because there is so much data in the world, and you never know which data you will be dealing with on what day, right? That's why everything together is known as big data, okay. And if we don't know what kind of data we are dealing with, we won't be able to store it, right? So therefore it is very important to know about data types, okay, because if we don't know about the type of data, we will not be able to make proper use, and also we will not be able to store it properly, okay guys. So this thing is very important, you have to know about this. So as I said, let us try to know about data types, then after that we will be learning how to actually name the variables, because naming convention of variables is very important also, okay. So let me just do one thing. Okay, so as I said that I will be talking about the data types, and because our domain is Java, we will be talking about Java only, okay. Let me give you a detailed idea about this. So data types in Java is actually divided into two main categories, okay. So let us take up the two categories first of all. The first one is primitive data types. The second one, or the second category, is non-primitive. It is also known as a reference, okay. This or this case both are same, fine. And let us now first jump into the first one, primitive data types. Then we will move on to the non-primitive or the reference data types. Because right now I am talking about the data types in Java. If you want me to talk about the data types in C or C++ also, you can just ping us in the comment section, we will do that, okay. For the time being, my focus will be on dedicated training of the data types in Java only, okay. So let's start with the primitive data types now. And the first primitive data type is, actually first of all let me just name you, there are 8 primitive data types in Java, okay. So they are byte, short, hint, char, float, double, long, Okay. So these are the primitive data types that we have available in Java. Okay. Byte, short, int, char, float, double, long and boolean. Okay. So if I talk about this, byte is the smallest data type in Java, and you will have to use this terms only to represent these data types. Okay. So right now, as I said, there are totally 8 primitive data types. We have byte, we have short, we have int, we have character, we have float, we have double, we have long and we have boolean. Okay. So if you want a demo about this, let me just do one thing. Let me go back to our IDE and try to give you data about this. Okay. So I will say go back here and let us write down them one by one. Okay. So here if I say byte, A is equal to 1, 2, 4, see, and if I say short, B is equal to, guys, there is a particular limit of all the data types. Okay, there is a particular interval in which they fall. Okay, so you have to be careful about that. Suppose for example, the short data type can only go till 127. Okay, if I write 128, it still works, but let's say if I write, let's go here and say here, let me write here 128 only, 6 only. Here if I write 128, see, sorry, my mistake, byte is ranging from, if I write here, minus 127 till minus 128 till 127. Okay, this is the range. So anything between that, if you want, you can use the byte data type. Okay, so if I write 127, it will become okay. If you see here, see, clear? And anything more than that, you can use the short data type. You can see here, right? And after that comes our integer. See, if I write int a equal to 10, I can write like this. Sorry, I cannot. And here you can see, we cannot have the same name variables here, guys. Please remember that as well. Okay, because small a here and small a here is not allowed. So here I can write capital A also, but this is not a good practice. And I'm telling you one more thing, whenever you are naming any variable, at that time please remember, make the variables meaningful. Suppose I'm saying I want to represent my age. In that case, I can write int age equal to 36. Okay, just for example. And just try to understand, if I write int d is equal to 36, it really does not make any sense, because here I can read this. I am trying to represent the age of a person by writing 36, correct? But here in d equal to 36, it doesn't make any sense, right? So always remember, this is a very important tip and it is a very important thing to do whenever you are trying to become a developer or a tester or whatever you are trying to learn any programming language. Please make sure that you name the variables according to your requirement. That means if you are trying to represent the age of someone, use the variable name as is only. Say suppose if I want to represent some marks, I can write it like this. It is directly visible that this variable is actually representing the marks of someone, right? So I don't have to again bother about thinking what it is actually. ऐसा नहीं करना है हम लोग को, right? So it is very easy to understand if you write the variable names like this. Here if you see byte a equal to this, what does it mean? I don't know. Similarly, short b equal to 126. It doesn't make any sense, right? So you can see short also has a range. If I write 4, 5, 6, 7, see, it's gone off. So there is a particular range of all the data types. I am giving you this as a homework. You have to think about this, and if you are getting the data, please get back to us with that, or else if you want us to tell all the ranges of all the variables, all the data types, just let me know. I will give it to you, okay? And maybe I will put this as a post in the YouTube community, maybe on Monday, okay? Don't worry about that, guys. I will not leave anything undone. I will do everything, complete everything one by one, step by step. So this is how all the variables are working. And guys, one more important thing here, please remember, when I write say double is used for, here if I show you, this double data type and the float data type, they are used for decimal values, floating point numbers, anything that has a decimal and after that we have some digits. Okay, so let me just show you something here. If I say double say number is equal to 23.45, see, there is no problem. But similarly, as I said, the floating point data type is also for, these two are actually for decimals. Okay, these are actually for numbers, normal numbers, not floating point numbers. Okay, character is for, I will say it is for special symbols and all, we'll come to that, don't worry. For the time being, let's stick to it, what we are trying to understand. Here I have written double number equal to this. Let me write float say data is equal to say 2.45. This is a very important question in terms of Java programming language and all the other programming languages also. But right now I am not focusing on that. I am just trying to give you the understanding of this thing. Guys, please remember this. Whenever we say float data equal to 2.45, it might look like a decimal point number, because here if you see, I have told that float also represents decimals. But see the difference now. As soon as I give this semicolon, there is a error, there is a warning by the compiler. Can anyone tell me this in the comment section? अगर आप ये बता पाओगे तो मैं बहुत खुश होऊंगा इसके बारे में. आप लोग इसके बारे में सोचो और बताओ मुझे. Okay, so what I am trying to say is float data equal to 2.45. This is also a decimal point number. Double number equal to 23.45. इसमें कोई problem नहीं है. There is no problem in this. Actually, what is happening here? So let me just tell you the answer. Whenever we take decimal data type in Java, by default the compiler or the JVM considers it as double. If you want to take it as a float, you have to write F after the number. Please remember this, ये बहुत important है. This is very very important. Okay, and as I said, some people, there might be some crazy interviewer whom you might meet in your interview rounds. They can ask you, I have written small f here, can I write capital F? Then you might be wondering, what if this is case sensitive? What if we can't write that? Then what will you do? Okay, so where was I? I was just talking about this. I said, if any interviewer asks you about this, can we write capital F instead of small f while we are declaring floating data type in Java, right? The answer is yes, we can write capital F as well. If you see here, capital F is also allowed. Okay, just remember once again, whenever we are dealing with floating point data in Java, we have to write a small or capital F to tell the compiler that we are trying to use this data as a floating point data. Okay, and by default all the decimal point numbers in Java are the double data type. Okay, so you can see here, for double we don't have to write anything. If you want, you can write D here, that doesn't matter. See, you can write D here or you can write capital D, it doesn't matter, because if you don't write also, by default the compiler is taking it at a double data type only. Okay. Then after that we have the boolean. Boolean, I will say status is equal to, say it will be either true, okay, true or false, just like boolean values, it can be false as well. Okay. These are the two values that is given to boolean data type. Okay. So here if you see, we have seen byte, short, int, float, double, boolean, and we have one more that we have left, that is our character. And for character, let me say char letter is equal to, guys, character can only accumulate a single character. Okay. So here, say suppose I am writing S, the first letter of my name, it is valid. And please remember, character can only be used using single quotes, double quotes are not allowed. Okay. In Python language or JavaScript it is allowed, but in Java it is not allowed. Please remember this. We have to write that in single quotes only. Okay. And whatever symbols that you have in your keyboard can be considered a special character. So I can write here percentage symbol, I can write the star symbol, I can take any single character that is available in my keyboard. Even I can take this tilde character also. If you see here, this is also a character. Okay. So a character can only accumulate a single character and the size is 1 byte. Okay. So just please remember that. So as I said, we have already, I think, covered the byte, the short, the int, the char, float, double, long and boolean. So anything that we want to take in long data type can be taken like this. Say suppose I want to take some very big data. Okay. So I will say resource is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. A very big data can be taken in the long data type, and if you want you can take some more also, 9987. See, and if you write L here, see, you have to write L here, after that you can take. So as I said, guys, you have to research on what is the range of all these individual data types. I have already given you about the byte data type. It is -127 till 120, -128 till 127. Anything beyond that you have to use the short or maybe the integer data type. Okay. So similarly, you just find out for the others, because boolean there is no range, it is either true or false. It is very evident from this, right? And similarly, character, as I said, it can only accumulate one character. And then we have the double. You just go through the internet, Google it out and try to let me know the answer if you can. Otherwise, I think by Monday or Tuesday I will be sending you a YouTube community post on the same thing. Okay. So I hope you have learned a lot today. If you learned and if you like this, please give a thumbs up to the video, and I hope you will be joining us again next week for another live session where we will be continuing after this. And I think we have covered a little bit of the recap of the previous weekend, and then we have done about the variables and data types. Okay. Similarly, after this we will be going on to the naming conventions of variables, and also we will be learning about a very important concept called the operators. Gradually we will be going and learning a lot of new concepts, guys. So please like and share our videos as much as you can, and please guys, इतना सा ही टाइम लगता है यार, सब्सक्राइब कर दो, थोड़ा वीडियोस को लाइक कर दो, बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं आप लोग के लिए, एटलीस्ट आप लोग हमारे लिए उतना कर सकते हो। आई होप आप लोग हमारे वीडियोस को लाइक करोगे, शेयर करोगे, सब्सक्राइब करोगे। थैंक्स अ लॉट गाइस। आई होप एवरीवन हूएवर इज वाचिंग दिस वीडियो, प्लीज़ लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब। ओके। एंड एट द सेम टाइम आप लोग नोटिफिकेशन बेल को हिट करना मत भूलना, बिकॉज दैट विल गिव यू नोटिफिकेशंस अबाउट ऑल आवर लेटेस्ट अपडेट्स। ओके, सो विदाउट एनी मोर chit chat and talk, I just want to wind up today. Thank you for watching, and till the next video, this is Saurabh signing off from Coders Arcade. Bye bye and happy learning. Thank you.